today marks exactly 9 years since the June 3rd disaster, the day which was marked around the country as a black day for Ghana, claimed the lives of 104 people and left many scarred for life. Now, the tragedy occurred after several hours of torrential rainfall in the capital city, Accra. Now, during the downpour, fuel leakage from Goil station at Kwame Nkrumah Circle caught fire from a cigarette stub near the area, resulting in an explosion alongside the flood. The floods were attributed to blockages in Accra's main storm drains, resulting from non-desilting of the drains, including buildings and structures by squatters that had blocked waterways. Now, 9 years on, we explore the lessons learned. But first, let's bring back this report by my colleague Maxwell Agbawa, which better paints the picture of the harsh reality faced by those who survived the disaster.
It is the evening of June 3, 2015. Flood water has displaced fuel from the storage tank underground at the fuel station at Circle. What we know is that a cigarette butt was dropped on the water, triggering a big explosion and a huge fireball that turned the skies orange. The flames continued to burn. Solomon Akrugu was just 12 years old, sitting in a room nearby. He suffered severe burns on his face. It completely disfigured him. Eight years later, on a Monday morning, I meet Solomon at East Legon doing what he does every day, begging for alms. That is his only means of survival. He used to sell air freshness but lost his capital when a friend stole his wares. Begging on the streets of East Legon is very difficult for him. Sometimes he gets nothing even after begging the whole day. He says some drivers do not want to see him close to their cars because of his disfigured face. He tells me about an incident where a man asked him to remove the mask he was wearing and stop begging on the streets.
When they say that they didn't this traffic and son
I only get food to eat when I go to the traffic light to beg for money. Many people do not give me money there. Some of them sack me when I get closer to their cars. Some of them think I am wearing a mask. A man once told me to go and look for a job and stop wearing the mask. A lot of people tell me that.
Timaka say, me copy Jumayo, and me Max na me da shimmy. Bibli, I'm a casadi. Me brepa, me bre. I know me one day me bre papa, cause
I am really suffering here. The hardship is real. I am always scared when it starts raining because I am homeless. I always sleep in front of shops because I do not have a place I call my home.
Solomon's parents separated after the fire destroyed their house at Circle. He fears no woman will be attracted to him because of his disfigured face. He says marriage will be difficult because no woman is attracted to him.
I really need the surgery because I am experiencing a lot of stigmatization. People do not want me closer to them because of my disfigured face. That's why I need the surgery. Because that will also help me get a woman to marry later in life. For now, no woman wants me. Even the drivers in cars find it difficult to give me money. Nobody wants me around. When the sun is out and hot and the light hits my face, it's really painful. That's why I need help. I can't touch it because blood will start oozing from my face if I do. So I go and hide in the shade until it's evening.
He's pleading for a job as a tiler and is also begging for assistance for plastic surgery. There are many Solomons out there who are living the trauma of the June 3 floods. Victims of the disaster, including Solomon, are yet to be compensated. Last year, the One Ghana movement reminded the government to do so. Yes, a member, Senyo Husi.
As expected, authorities trooped in to this very space and on the streets, promising, as usual, to bring perpetrators to book. 7 years on, no one has been held accountable for this very avoidable disaster. The government of the day and the government today have all but paid lip service to justice, accountability, and commensurate compensation for victims.
The One Ghana movement has since 2017 been pursuing justice for the persons affected. One of their lawyers, Samson Ladi Anyenini, led the matter in court in 2018. The case is still pending. He says it has been a very slow process.
Because there have been what we call interlocutory processes in the course. But just very recently, we seem to have cleared some of the hurdles. So actually, we're in court, this week. Apart from the plaintiffs that were mobilized by One Ghana movement, we know, as a matter of fact, later, as we discovered, that there were many more who were affected, who are not part of the suit in court. Some had left to their villages, some had left to their hometowns, various places. It's unfortunate that the law has a limitation period within which you can take a suit, and in excess of 5 years you don't have that opportunity. But I believe that even for those who are in court, the state could look at this more carefully and see what could be done to everybody. For as long as there will be evidence to show that somebody is suffering as a result of what happened, I think that the state could look at being the father for all kind of thing.
Many continue to live through these dangerous floods of trauma, and others are scarred for life. Maxwell Awagba, Joy News.
Let's bring in the Director of Communications at the National Disaster Management Organization, George AEC, joining us via phone to discuss about the lessons learned 9 years on. Now, your team was quite busy that day. Share with me your reflections.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, Mr. George. Thank you for your time here on Newsdesk. We're casting our minds back 9 years ago. On that day, your team was quite busy. Share with me your reflections.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning to our viewers. I think about 3 or 4 years ago, we issued, on the 5th anniversary, we issued a release. We said never again. It's true, that day we were there. NADMO was very present and to do what we can as much as possible to save as many lives as possible in such a dangerous situation. And then the lives lost. We had to do what we could to recover those lives that were lost. People, some were brought out not completely dead and had to be revived with the medical, to be sent to medical facilities. NADMO was all over and very present to support. And in the process too, we did registration of people who were affected, and then later, when government decided to support, we used that as a basis to support the people. Unfortunately, some people registered with other NGOs, and their names were not captured by the NADMO list, and that brought some problems when we were doing the government support for the affected victims. So those were some of the initial remarks that I can make, recollecting June 3rd disaster.
Have there been significant improvements in desilting storm drains and removing structures that block waterways since the disaster? Because that was one of the major reasons why we experienced that tragic disaster.
Yes, on the safety enforcement of safety protocols, I would say yes. The National Petroleum Authority has been up and doing in partnership with the Ghana National Fire Service to ensure the strict enforcement of safety protocols in discharge of fuel and gasoline products. And on that score, I would say yes, there's been much improvement. On the issue of desilting our drains, and yes, it's become an annual ritual. Government has got dredge masters in the Odo, and they've been doing consistent work desilting and dredging the Odo. And the other ones, to NADMO in partnership with the Assembly, have been doing consistent desilting and dredging of some of the other major storm drains. And fortunately, the Garrett project support is also tailored towards that, consistent dredging, and then getting maintenance works on our major drains and some of our minor drains. And so, yeah, that I would say there's been improvement, but there's room for more improvement. We can do better than we're doing now.
For many people who survived that incident, they are now living with scars, scarred for life. What policy changes have been implemented to prevent a reoccurrence of such disaster?
Policy changes to do what?
To prevent a reoccurrence of such disasters as NADMO.
Yes. That's what I said. Ensuring that the safety protocols in the discharge of gas and gasoline products is being strictly enforced, especially under the leadership of the NPA. That is being done. The partnership with the district assemblies to ensure that we engage communities, flood-prone areas, and then we dredge our drains. Government is ensuring that the Ministry of Works and Housing is constructing more drains, storm drains and gutters and co to ensure that our waters, the flood waters, are able to flow freely. These are things that government is ensuring, and then NADMO is also ensuring that it's done so that we can avoid this. We've issued a statement, never again, and so our policies and steps that we are taking is to ensure that indeed never again should we experience these twin disasters.
How prepared is NADMO currently to handle similar disasters should they occur again?
We've been having consistent training for our men. We've got some logistical support, and we're in position to respond in the case of any emergency. We are an emergency response agency, so we are prepared to respond in such situations.
Thank you, George Oyusi, for your time here on Newsdesk. Now let's take